All right, what's popping? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on? We in the building. RKT Appraisals in the building.
Yep.
Rashidi and Kayleen, what's going on? So today's topic, we're talking about how to create a trust and a will. So what's that about? What's a trust? I know what a will is. I don't know what a trust is. What's that?
Yeah, because Brooklyn niggas can't really trust niggas like that. So you got to explain that shit.
No, man. So I mean, to keep it simple, the difference between a trust and a will is that they're almost the same thing. But a will is when you die and somebody takes over. But a trust, somebody can take over your stuff while you're actually alive, and you have tax benefits. So a will is when you die, boom, you leave somebody in charge of everything, all your finances, who's getting what, handling all your accounts, all your assets, your finances, everything from funeral arrangements to XYZ.
Right.
But a trust, it's while you're alive. Hence the word a trust. So literally someone that you trust and they become the trustee, and essentially you put all of your products into an account, essentially, which you have the revocable and irrevocable trust. Right. So essentially you put, if you have a house, cars, credit card, everything you want to put in there, it's an account created. And so that partner, whoever you name, the person in charge, actually has control of all your assets. And therefore, you both make deals, whatever you want to do, whether they're selling the property, whatever you want to do, whatever you put in a trust, they have full control of it because you trusted them while you're alive. The main benefit of that is that, of course, you get a tax break. That's why a lot of people deal with that.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of like a gist of what it is.
Right. So you have the revocable and you have the irrevocable trust. So the revocable is similar to what Rashid was talking about, with the assets. As the owner of the trust, you have full control of the assets. You have full control of. You can actually remove a beneficiary. You can add a beneficiary. Everything is in your complete control.
Right.
But with the irrevocable trust, it's the exact opposite, to where you have very to little no control of your assets and your properties, things of that nature. And if you want to modify or change anything, you have to get permission from the beneficiaries to make changes to that trust.
So why would someone do that though? Why would someone just give the responsibility to someone? Is it they don't feel like dealing with it, or what's the motivation?
Well, it's a few things. One, it's a tax break. So this part, irrevocable trust is for high net worth individuals, and you get a tax break on your estate taxes.
Okay,
you'll break on that. So that's why a lot of high net worth individuals will use irrevocable trust. And then what happens is you have something called a family trust. But with the family trust, it's designed to where there's a lot of vulnerable people in the family, right? A lot of emotions get tied to when it comes to money and properties and things of that nature. So what the family trust does, it protects all the property and the assets that family has. And hence in the will, it'll have certain things to where, okay, this part goes to this person, this part goes to that person. So there's really no fight, and everybody knows what goes to who and who owns it once the owner of the trust passes. So they need that. So you know what I'm saying? They need that structure. That's what that trust does. The document that's structured to help navigate who gets the assets and how it's being allocated.
And how do you make a trust? Literally speaking, because I know a will is literally a piece of paper that says, Miles Cunningham in what they say in good state of mind and cognition, I do put all my worldly belongings over to my nephew and blah blah blah. And I know that that's literally a piece of paper, and you get it notarized and all that type of shit. What is a trust though?
Literally, it's pretty much the same thing. You have to get a lawyer, legal binding document. So you sit down with a lawyer and you actually go over in very detail of who's a trustee, how's everything being allocated. So you actually do have to sit down with a lawyer and do it. There's other cheaper options where if you work with a legal firm and you pretty much send them the information on what you want to do in detail. But for the most part, you want to sit down with a lawyer and they draft up the paperwork of exactly all the property you own, everything you own, from cars to credit cards to everything you want to put in. And then they go and, just like a will, draft up a legal document. And whoever the trustee is, that person is privy to that information.
Oh, okay. Now, I've seen like, shorts and TikToks and stuff. And, I've sent you guys stuff that I see, where they talk about, creating a trust and, becoming your own family bank and all that type of shit. So how does that actually work as far as that goes? Like say I want to create a trust for a family or for my family. Say I got, 2 kids and a wife, and my kids is coming of age and they want to borrow money for a business or they want to do certain things. And I'm telling them, don't go to the bank, borrow money from the family. It's how does that work?
Yeah, so I don't go too deep on that. What I do know about it is that having a family trust, you do have that benefit where, because that trustee has control over all of that stuff, you can make actual business moves. Mm-hmm. That's why the keyword is trust. It's one of those things where if you have a trustee, so for example, Miles, if you have Mr. Locario as your trustee, and he decides, he wants to sell one of your properties, he actually has the power to do so. So the same thing is that party has the option to make decisions even without your behalf, without
my permission necessarily.
Exactly. So in that same example you gave, Miles, that's something where he can now use it for his kids or whatever the case is. And it may be something you all agree on, but the point is, though, he has that power to do stuff. That's why those family trusts are valuable, because whoever you give power to, they have the power to make different moves. Make with your stuff.
Okay, I gotta watch that nigga Lucario, because dark skinned niggas is sneaky. Nah, I'm playing. But, so what else did I want to ask about this shit? So what do you like? So you guys help people do this type of shit, or what? Like, how does it work?
This is what I'll say. I honestly, we don't really push it too much, to be honest with you, when it comes to that. We do have access to that. The company that we're attached to, they do handle trusts and wills. It's definitely something where we're just not as hands-on in that particular process, because it's a lot of legalities.
Right. So So do you have lawyers on deck who you could refer people to, or
Correct. So the agency we're attached to, pretty much be honest with you, it's a heavy, strong referral, to be transparent. We go through the basics of telling you what the trust is, like how we're talking on the podcast, what are the benefits, and we pass you on to our legal team that handles that portion.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, man. So do you guys like what? Because you say you don't really push it like that, but what's your opinion of it? Like, should people do this type of shit, or because like if you say because you tell us about IULs, you tell us about budgeting, you tell us about certain other things. Like, what kind of person would a trust benefit the most? Like, or is it for everybody, or you know what I'm saying? Like, who are we targeting when we say, oh, hey, you should do a trust?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the thing about it, though. So I mean, I think at the core of it, when it comes to trust in particular, it's only for people that is on the same level as you, is the very first wave. And then the second thing is the person that you do. A more important thing is someone that you trust. So like us on the panel, like, I'm sure, Miles and Locario have been working together for many years. You probably only would trust Locario to be a trustee. And I don't know that. And that's
no, pretty much. Ain't really nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
It's why I say you want it to be someone on the same levels, because it has to be someone that has the same type of things that you could lose. Because the reality of the situation is, if you give someone that power with a trust and they don't have anything, and you give them access to everything, that's shaky business.
So you saying you looking for somebody in pretty much like the same tax bracket, because if you make your broke ass cousin the trustee, he probably will take the money and buy Jordans.
Exactly. Exactly. So and there are tax benefits for it, so it is really worth it. But like I said, the key word is literally trust.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If it's somebody that you don't absolutely trust on the highest level to do the right thing with don't do it. So that's why the precursor is just having somebody on your level, And then the next level is, do you actually trust them and having those conversations before you go down that route? And, you know, and honestly, personally, if I'm doing a trust, I'm having that person we both should be each other's trustee. Right. In my opinion, if we're going that route, that's the time I would say it is worth it, because a lot of people that have a lot of money, they do them because they are worth it. You do get tax breaks, but like I said, you definitely want to be in the same level. You definitely want to be vice versa, both on trustees on both sides. Then it's worth it. In terms of a will, absolutely everybody should get a will. Yeah. Why? Because when someone dies and you don't have a will, we don't know what's going on. What do I mean? If someone dies, you don't know what there is in their account. If you're not attached to their bank account and you don't claim that money, the bank can take their money over time. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on. If they have a property and you don't know who's on the deed and nobody's on the deed, the bank can take that property. Right. Same thing with the vehicle. If nobody's on that title, it's just that person on that car title, they can take that, so you lose everything. So a will is definitely vital, and everyone should have a will, you know, once you become an adult, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. You mean literally age 18?
Well, I mean, 18, you don't got nothing, but I would still create. You should, if you want to be proactive. I mean, 18, you don't really got nothing. So, I mean, most 18-years, let me take that back. Most 18-years don't got anything.
So let's play devil's advocate. Do y'all two niggas have wills, nigga?
Honestly, no.
I have a will. I have a will. I do have a will.
Wait, Rashida, you have a will?
Yeah, I have a will. Man.
Oh shit, real nigga shit. Kayleen,
what's up?
You got a will, nigga?
No, I don't have a will.
Oh shit! Fuck. Oh.
He ain't leaving nothing to nobody. He's like, fuck y'all niggas. He's like,
What's what I'm saying, right? Now, as far as like properties and assets and things of that nature, it has to equate with like family as well.
Yeah.
Right? The more of a standalone person you are, it's cool to have one, but you don't necessarily need one. It's for the person who has a family, who has businesses, to connect with that family, if that makes sense. Because giving specific instructions on what goes to who.
Right.
If you ain't got no kids, if you ain't got a wife, where your stuff going to? Now, there are other places that these things can go to, don't get me wrong. However, it's more important for the person who has a family to make sure that they have a will.
Right.
They have on where this money is going, or these properties or these assets are going to.
Right. But still, though, you should still probably get a will, because like it could go to your moms or your siblings. You know what I'm saying? If you got siblings and shit like that.
Oh, no, 100%.
Or like, let's just say you gotta, like how me and Lucario, because neither Lucario and I have kids.
Right.
But it's like, if I was to die, then other than my nephew, Lucario deserves like pretty much whatever you want, because it's me and him who made all this shit happen. You feel me? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So if I was to do a will, other than my shit, like personally going to my nephew, it's like, if there's any monies or anything left over, then that belongs to Lucario. But I need to kind of have a will to say that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even though I don't have like a family, like, because a nigga like me, I don't really see myself getting married, and I don't see myself having kids in this fucking world where niggas don't know if they men or women and all this type of dumb shit. And,
it's similar to life insurance. You know, a lot of times with life insurance, they question what's the reason that you want the coverage.
Right. Exactly.
Like, if you don't have a business, or if you don't have any family, there's a high chance they're not going to cover you.
Yeah, because they're like, what? You ain't got nothing, nigga. Fuck out of here. Like,
there's no reason to have coverage.
Exactly. And you ain't got no kids. You ain't got no next of kin. But Explode says, I hold my mom's money for her every month. Is there any way I can flip that? See, a question like this, you need to call RKT appraisals.
Right.
Like, I feel like on some, and Explode, I'm not really getting at you personally, but I feel like on some ego shit, niggas just love to come on like live stream chats just to like front and flex and ask questions. Like, you really should be calling RKT appraisals 973-420-5028, because we need to know how much money it is. Because if it's $5, what you gonna do with $5, nigga? Right. But I'm sure you don't want to tell us exactly how much money you hold it for your mom. So you need to talk to these niggas on a private consultation and talk to these niggas. Don't put it in the chat. Call these niggas, bro. Like, stop playing around, man.
And the number right there. Give us a call.
Yeah, definitely get a call. They could definitely tell you how to flip that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a certain amount of money, shit, you probably could put that shit in a mutual fund or something like that, or you could probably put it in some type of money market or high interest account. You could probably put it in an IUL. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it is, or you could, or depending on if if it really is a decent amount of money, you could probably put it into some real estate. You understand? But again, we don't know how much money you're talking about. So you need to call RKT Appraisals to make, to really get down to a good suggestion of what you could do with the money. And then so we got Adam A. He says, what do I need to do to help me get? Y'all niggas need to get with some English classes. What do I need to do to help me? What do I need to help me get decent jobs such as retail and luxury stores?
What?
Do we advise on that type of shit?
I mean,
know.
That's a very.
He says he struggled with finding jobs. Nigga, Indeed.com, Monster.com, and other than that, find a place online or get some YouTube channels where you could learn how to write a resume,
right?
And beat the fucking street. Get your ass out there and talk to some people and ask them if they're hiring.
He's like a career coach or some shit, something like that.
I don't know. Y'all have anything to say to that? Does RKT?
I mean, ultimately, this is what I will say. I mean, again, it is the reality. What the reality situation is, though. I mean, I think on this panel we always have strong personalities, but unfortunately, not everybody has strong personalities out there in the real world.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I would just say, you can call RKT. We'll work with you on some stuff. We'll charge you a fee, of course, after the free consultation. But we'll work with you because, we're good at writing resumes and we know how to doctor a resume to fit what you're looking for. And we will coach you on some interviewing skills because we're good at interviews too as well.
Nice.
Just call us. It's not something typically we do, but we actually have that skill set. We'll work out a reasonable fee and get you where you need to be in terms of looking for jobs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I remember before all this convenient internet shit, I remember one day, I put on some slacks, some shoes, a shirt and a tie. I had a folder with copies of my resume.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Brooklyn. I got on the fucking train at Canal Street, Canal and Fifth Avenue.
Right.
And I walked all the way up to 34th Street. And every storefront I saw, I went in there and said, hey, are you hiring? And I found a job on 33rd Street at this printing shop. Yeah, come on, man. Where y'all fathers at? Where y'all fucking fathers at? Where are the people? Where are the get up and go get it people? Where y'all at?
That era's done. That era's done.
I mean, listen, Adam A. Look, I'm not attacking nobody personally, but like, where are the people that just get up and fucking go get it? Like, where y'all at? You struggle with finding jobs? That's because you fucking in our chat right now. You should be out in the street. Hey, you guys hiring? I'm looking for work. Hey, you guys hiring? Like, put that phrase and just repeat it. Every next person you see. Excuse me, you hiring? Do you have a job?
You ever seen that video where they be like, y'all niggas hiring? You never saw that shit? When niggas go in the store and they say that shit. That shit funny as hell.
Oh shit! Every person you see, yo, hey, are you hiring? You understand what I'm saying, guys? Let me tell you something. Game is all well and good. Money knowledge is all well and good, and being on the internet is all well and good. But you got to get your fucking ass on the street and get what the fuck you want out of this life, man. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are we talking about? You see what happens to the world? See, before you had to go to the Dewey Decimal System and get the index card and go find the fucking book yourself. Yeah. And everybody had that mentality like, okay, I got to go find it myself. I got the piece of paper. Oh, what Dewey Decimal number is it? All right, cool. And then you have to walk through the fucking library and find it. But now you don't even have to go to the library. You just get on this.
Right.
And now what happened? Everybody's on some... I struggle finding jobs. Did you go out and look? No, I just been sitting here all day looking at a live stream.
Right. That's real shit.
Yo, get your punk ass out of the house and go find what the fuck you looking for. It's out there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Trust me, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but seriously, Adam, give us a call. We'll help you out with that for sure.
Hey, RKT, y'all hiring?
Listen, we just might be.
soon, for real.
Nah, could you gonna need somebody to send out emails to clients and all that type of shit?
Nah, for all jokes aside, seriously, not yet, but yes, soon. That's the next step.
So what, Kenwood Drive? Not every fucking place is gonna tell you that. A lot of them will. So write down the website and do that shit. But there's other places that you could get that shit right away too, in person, man.
But to Miles' point though, you actually going there and asking that question, then going applying online. You actually built a connection with that person. That's the reality of the situation.
Exactly.
So that's the key piece right there.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Niggas always got an excuse to be on some like I want to sit on my ass shit. Like, nah, bruh. Nah.
Right. You gotta grind out there, people.
You gotta grind, bro. I remember that day. And I told myself, I'm not coming back home without a fucking job.
I
got a job, bro.
I would say this too. There's this book. It's like an Audible on. It's this guy called Jim Rome. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, right?
I heard your name.
Jim Rome, right? He has this thing called the magic of part-time. Once you guys do get a job, right? Don't make that your end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is, the real goal is whether you want to be or not. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Entrepreneurship is the way. So even if you need a 9-to-5 job just to do what you got to do. Everybody got to take care of their bills, take care of their family, do what they got to do. Fine, nothing wrong with that. But don't let that be the thing. You should also have a goal to where, okay, look, I'm gonna work at this job for a year, and then after this year, I'm gonna set myself up to where I could do something part-time to where I could be, self-sufficient and independent, because that's the way. It's not about you finding a job and working for somebody else and helping them live their dream. It's about you doing what you got to do for yourself and your family. Because trust me when I tell you, that job that you quote unquote looking for, when they ready, when profits ain't the way it's supposed to be, trust me, they will fire your ass tomorrow. It don't matter. Right. It doesn't matter. So use the tools, use that 9-to-5 to help to let that be a stepping stone for you to be at some point for you to start working for yourself. That's where it's at.
Thanks.
Real talk. So the thing I want to know about the will though is it something that says something that's like general, or is it like, does it change over time? Because let's say, a person starts making more money, or they get a certain type of property or whatever, and they get it like next year. Do they go and redo their will?
It depends if it's revocable or if it's revocable or irrevocable. If it's revocable, they can change it. They can modify it. Right. But if it's irrevocable, they can't touch it.
Oh, word? That's crazy.
They got to get permission from the trustee, not for the trust.
No, but what about the will though? You
can modify it whenever you want with the will.
Okay, that's also about the will. Yeah, because I'm saying the will, you can modify that whenever, right?
You can modify that whenever. The will itself is, they're gonna charge you a fee if you got a lawyer, because the time is money. But but you can change it. The will, they go down to every detail. So the will goes over everything from property to who's gonna pull the plug on you. Literally, with a will, you can put in there like, hey, if I'm on my deathbed, do I want one of my kids pulling the plug, or do I want Miles pulling the plug? Like it goes over every, every scenario humanly possible. You get to create, and they detail that type of situation. Who do I want to handle my bank accounts? Do I want one person handling everything? Do I want this person handling that? You get to dictate everything. How do I want to be buried? What type of funeral I want to have? Like every single detail in your death, how you want to be remembered, how you want to divvy things, you can break it down. And then those parties, what the lawyer does is they'll send that information. Those parties will be told who's on the will, and they also sign as well. And then you can have backups. So you got backups. Like, for example, if you got Miles, and like, listen, Miles will die before you. What then? You can have your backup on there. Somebody else you want to throw on there as a backup. You may have 2 or 3 people as a backup if such and such die, or then this person's next in line to take care of this, that, and third. So you can control pretty much every scenario you could think of in that situation.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so like so you're saying, so basically the will could be changed whenever, and the trust just depends on what type of trust you have. or
right.
Okay, interesting.
How you set it up? Yep.
Right, man. Okay, that's crazy. So like, so what specifics are in the will though? Because like, so if I say, okay, I want to write a will, do I just say, okay, I want to give my TV to this guy, and then I want to give my sneaker collection to like what is it like that detailed, or is it just like,
Exactly.
or do you have, so it could be like a bunch of shit, like, and then he's just like, this is all of this shit, like it'll be 100 items on there, and that'll be the will.
It's literally as detailed as you want it to be.
Wow.
This literally is as detailed as you want it to be. Just to your point, if you want to leave somebody a TV, I don't know if you see those movies sometimes where they joke around, where it'd be like, "Oh, I gave this son everything, and I left this guy a T-shirt." Like people, you can literally do that. You know what I mean? Like you can literally do that.
Yo, that'll be funny. You give a motherfucker that you don't like some bullshit.
And it's messed up because then you really know how that person really felt about you once you see what they left you.
Oh my God. So any last things people should know about trusts and wills, or something that people should look out for that you think should happen?
Yeah, I mean the last words I'll just say when it comes to the trust, just when you're making moves in life and you're on the up and ups, just make sure it's somebody that you trust and somebody that's on your level. When it comes to the will, to be honest with you, if you have anybody that you care about in your life, you should have a will. So you know what I mean, whether if you just just one kid and that's it, and everybody died, if you got a best friend, probably should have a will. You know what I mean? And even if you don't have anybody, truth be told is the government is taking your money. So you can create a will and donate it to whatever random foundation. But the point is, if you do not create a will, the government's taking your money. And we know, do you really trust the government with your money? He's just going to take the money, put it back in his pocket. You know what I mean? So at least if you create a will, if you don't have nobody, you can do a little, a cancer foundation or Alzheimer's, whatever you believe in the core of yourself. So wills are always good to have, and they're not that expensive to set up in all reality. Do they cost money? The price varies. I mean, you can get a will from $300. Of course, how much details going to go into it, how much time they're going to explain things, another story. But for $300 to $1,500, you get a will, and you're set.
$1,500 for a will?
Oh yeah. It gets real. The more details you get.
What?
If you leave it, yeah. Listen, man.
For a will, No, but I remember when you could go to like Staples and get the kit for like $10.99 or some shit. Can you?
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
No, I'm dead serious. Like, well, I remember this from years ago, where you could go to like Staples or Office Max, and they sell a kit, and it comes with stationery that looks like this, with like a thing around it, and you fill it out, and then, but the only thing is you might have to pay for for a lawyer or a notary to notarize it, or for the lawyer to review it to make sure all the wording is good and to get it registered and shit like that. So you're still gonna have to pay. But I remember that like the actual kit was like something that you could buy at Staples or Office Max.
Right. So you can so to clarify, so you can download forms and do it yourself and get it notarized and get a legal stamp. But the reality of the situation of going that route, although it's cheaper for a reason. Because remember, if you miss any detail, you have a will that does nothing for nobody because you was putting random stuff in there and not really checking or double checking stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because anybody can print get that paper and then you put on there, okay, I want to leave my mother my house, and you put that as a legal binding document. You didn't add any real information in there, so therefore, scenarios that come across with that house being on there, okay, is that just it? You know what I mean? So you can actually do it. You are right, Miles. You can do that. But the reality is, in doing so, if you're not a detailed person,
right,
you wasting your time. That will that you left may be garbage for whoever's left for it at that point.
Crazy.
Got you.
Man. All right. So man, people, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you guys go to RKT Appraisals. Hit up Kalim, hit up Rashidi, and we will see y'all guys next week. All right. So we out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gone. We out. Later. Peace.